my God. I can't believe I just added 17 Wi-Fi devices to my smart home. What was I thinking? Seriously, they're all outside. But man, look at this thing. It looks awesome. Let's jump into the video. Now, I've wanted outdoor landscape lighting for a very long time. I'm not talking about the permanent lights that you put under your gutters or anything like that. That's more of a secondary light source or for special events, for Christmas, for holidays, for 4th of July. Those extra lights up there are great for that. I wanted everyday landscape lighting that lit up the house and just looked amazing. And there's really only been one or two brands I've been looking at for the last few years, and neither one I was really happy with, and that's Philips Hue or Govee. And I almost pulled the trigger on both of them many times, but recently Lifx released their outdoor lighting accessories. They have spotlights, path lights, they have rope lights. Problem with the Lifx ones is they are Wi-Fi. Right? Philips Hue is Zigbee. I think most of Govee stuff is also Wi-Fi. They have other problems with Govee also. They make great products at affordable prices, but I just couldn't pull the trigger on their outdoor lighting stuff. So I really wanted to try Lifx because I've had Lifx bulbs over the years. Absolutely love their products, their colors, their brightness. Yes, they are kind of pricey, but I'm okay with that. But I couldn't test out Lifx without looking at the competition, and this original video idea was comparing Lifx and Philips Hue, and I knew within minutes that Lifx had a better product when it came to color saturation, brightness, and the overall design of it. But what held me back was that it was still Wi-Fi, and having them outside is just crazy. But after weighing all the pros and cons, which I'll definitely let you know all those in this video, I had to go with Lifx. And look at this. Look how amazing this looks. Now, yes, I do still have to add some permanent outdoor lighting under the eave, under the gutters, that type of stuff, but I'm waiting for the right one. The right one has not come out yet. There's been a couple ones close that I really like, but just not ready. But that's a topic for another video. And guess what, guys? I didn't go all out with Lifx. I still bought some Philips Hue products, which I'll talk more about in a moment. That you'll be surprised how I got Philips Hue and Lifx to work together. It might not just be what you think though. Now, the huge caveat in this decision that I was okay with Wi-Fi, and you're gonna have to weigh your own personal Wi-Fi experience and network, is that my Wi-Fi router, my main Wi-Fi router, is right near the front door. So I have great signals, great strength, and I'm not overly concerned about the signal strength or connectivity. However, it's still Wi-Fi, and it's Matter over Wi-Fi devices also. And if you've been playing with Matter lately, the Matter over Wi-Fi devices over the last couple of months have not been great inside my primary platform, Apple HomeKit. But I'm okay with that too, because it is great, 95% reliable in the Lifx app, and that's all I need to do for the daily, turning on the lights and turning them off every single day, which I'll show you more about that in just a moment. But to make a long story short, between Hue and Lifx, yes, Lifx has better colors, better brightness, I think the actual light themselves may be a little bit cheaper, but to be honest, cost did not matter in my decision. Obviously, some of the big factors that mattered to me was the overall brightness, color saturation, color accuracy, however you want to describe the colorness of it. And then the elephant in the room was that Lifx had Wi-Fi compared to Philips Hue, which is Zigbee, and you need their hub. But there are other factors involved. Also, for instance, the power supply, how you're going to power these wires and how you're going to run wires to all these lights. With Philips Hue, you have to use their power supplies and their wiring. Where Lifx, they do allow you to have your own transformer, just a normal landscape transformer that has to be, they say, at least 300 watts at 12 volts, which I'll talk about the calculator in a minute. But you can actually probably want 15 volts, not the 12 volts that's on the box and in the instructions. Definitely follow the website and their calculator. Make sure that your transformer, if you're going to go this route, make sure it can do 15 volts, because if it can't, you're going to have these much shorter runs and maybe run into issues if you don't have enough volts to go the distance that you need. And if you already have landscape lighting out there, as long as you have those 15 volts and you have enough watts in the transformer, you can actually just tap into those lines, which makes the installation a lot easier. But guess what, guys? After getting them in my hands, I learned that you can actually use the Philips Hue power sources with the Lifx lights. And if it's a brand new install, I highly recommend that you go that route. Just the route, having your own transformer and then wiring their wires and their wiring, their their little squeeze thing that you're supposed to put onto your landscape lighting. That is just junk. Unfortunately, that is just junk. I don't know what they were thinking. Having exposed metal that you have in ground and it can get wet, it can get corroded. No, thank you. So if you're going to go that route, definitely get these like little connectors, these dry cons. These things are awesome for anything that you're going to bury. You can see I did a test with it and it works great. Obviously, it's more work, but if you're going to have a connection in the ground that's going to get wet all the time, you don't want to have issues later. And when you're doing landscape lighting, I'm no expert, but hey, when I see open connections like that, yes, and it will last for a year or two, but then you're going to start having issues. It's just not worth the hassle. Just go ahead, replace that little connector, put these little bad boys on, and you're good for the entire life of these lights. Now you might be saying, hey, the Philips Hue power sources are 24 volts, but with Lifx you need 12 to 15 volts. And don't take my advice, definitely do your own research in this. But I learned that the transformer that Lifx supplies will actually step up the volts from that 15 to 24 volts at 22 watts, which means that you can use the Philips Hue power sources at 24 volts, and as long as you don't go over the maximum wattage of that power source, which Philips Hue, they have two power sources, one at 40 watts and then one at 100. And I know on the 100 mile they only recommend 95 watts max. So that means at 22 watts with the Lifx, you can get 4 lights per 100 watt Philips Hue power source. And the connection is exactly the same. So you don't have to splice anything together. You have a watertight connection that you can bury, and you'll never have to worry about it again. And it's a lot easier to install. So in my opinion, if you're doing this as a new install, definitely go to the Philips Hue power source. And hey, if Philips Hue comes out with new lights, which I expect them to very soon, probably the next 5 years, because Lifx just blows them away with these new lights. And I think Philips Hue is overdue for new outdoor lights. So hopefully they keep the same connection and it would just be easier to plug them in and be good to go. Half the work it's already done because the wires are already buried. Obviously, keep in mind that each power supply from Philips Hue is only 100 watts and you have to have a plug for each one, where if you did the transformer for the landscape lighting, like you can see here, I got this transformer that's 600 watts, and yes, you have to run wires underneath sidewalks and roadways, whatever you might need, where if you did the Philips Hue, you'll be able to plug it in somewhere else. Maybe you have to install an electrical box. You're going to have work on either one, possibly depending on your setup, but just keep that in mind. It just worked out better in my situation. I did temporarily have to install some extension wires. I'll definitely be having a professional electrician coming out to install some additional outlets, and I don't have to worry about going underneath any sidewalk. Now, my primary focus with these new Lifx lights is the daily night light, or the lights that turn on every single night. And what's great about these Lifx lights is they go down all the way down to 1500 Kelvin, and it goes up to 9,000 Kelvin. So if I want the cool lights, I could definitely do that. Obviously, it wouldn't go that high, and I think that's just crazy. And it's also much bigger than what the Hue lights can do. But obviously, I'm not going to go to either end of that spectrum, but it's nice to have. And when it comes to the physical design, I'm surprised that it does have some weight and it's very well built. It's made of all metal, but I do have one minor con with the physical design, and that's I think the lights themselves can accidentally be moved, meaning that if a little animal jumps on it, it's going to tilt back down. There's no locking mechanism. Yes, there's a little click as you're raising and lowering this down that gives it a little bit of resistance, but not very much, compared to Hue, where you actually have to turn a locking mechanism that locks it into place and it will never move. So I wish there was some type of lock on here, just so I know little animals are not going to move this. I also bought 4 pathway lights, and they have the square ones and the circle ones. The square ones give off a little bit less lumen because some of the light is blocked by the design of the light, but otherwise they're exactly the same. The circle ones I have can put out up to 800 lumens, and the square ones can put out lumens up to 500. And even in the pathway lights, I'm only doing 15% brightness on my daily night lighting, so you really don't have to use all that wattage in either spotlights or the pathway lights. But obviously, when you want that bright colors, you have the ability to do it with these types of lights. Plus, these also have the polychrome blend. I forget how many zones the pathway lights have. I think it might be 3 to 8. I don't remember, but you can see multiple colors, really great color effects. Now, I also got 4 of the old Lifx candle lights. If you guys remember these are not matter, but they are home kit. So I was able to get these into home kit. Unfortunately, Lifx still has Wi-Fi issues with these in home kit, but inside the Lifx app, they work perfectly fine. Plus, these have 27 zones in that polychrome blend, so doing that like flame effect in this is awesome. I just like to use those in my everyday night lighting, just because it looks like natural gas lighting when it's just electric little bulbs like this. And when it came to the special effects, or the FX effects within the Lifx app, when you want to do those special effects, those special blends and holiday colors, and 4th of July, St. Patrick's Day, you name the holiday, they probably have a special effect made for it. And then you can also do custom effects. I find it to be not the most user-friendly app, so they definitely need to make it a little bit more user-friendly and more special effects. But you can pretty much do what you want to do and get the job done. It just takes a little bit of practice and knowledge of the app itself. I'll show you some more of these right now. I don't know about you, but this at 100% is crazy. Look how bright this is. go back to normal. Obviously, I still have some lighting to do on this house, but for the most case, this is 90% done. I do want to get some soffit permanent lighting, especially like over the garage where the dormers are. Something like the Govee or the Eufy or the Nanoleaf permanent lights. I'll see in a year or so when that starts pissing me off that there's no lights up there. I'll see what's available and get that job done. Plus, I have some other ideas I want to do with some outdoor permanent lighting, but I really wanted to get the landscape lighting and the house up lit. Really looks professional in my opinion. Looks like $1 million house or multi-million-dollar house. God love it. And when I want to do the special effects, it just really, I can turn up that brightness and the colors and it just looks amazing. And by the way, if you have something like Homey Pro or another Matter controller, you can add these lights to that. You're just gonna have basic control. You're not going to get any special effects, but if you did want to have it in those systems and just automate it, you can definitely do it through those systems and it works well. Just don't get the pairing code from HomeKit because they're non-responsive in HomeKit right now. I can't get it. So go directly with the original Matter code. And if you're thinking about using the Lifx app within Homey Pro instead of Matter directly, I do want to warn you, I did test that also. And unfortunately, when you bring it over to HomeKit, it only works about 70% of the time, which is better than the Matter over Wi-Fi directly in Apple HomeKit. So if you're going to use Homey, go ahead and bring it in Homey directly through the Matter code, and it's just going to be more reliable for you. So all in all, I thought the install was super easy. Like I mentioned, I used the Philips Hue power sources that I thought made it even easier. I love the brightness. I love the colors. Love everything about the Lifx light itself, except for it was Wi-Fi. Oh! But like I said, it works great. 98% reliability inside the Lifx app. And that's all I can ask for. And overall, I'm super happy. And if you guys want to check them out, check out the affiliate links down below. If you buy something, that definitely helps out this channel so I can do videos like this because this stuff is not cheap. All right, guys. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. I have a lot of great new products coming to market that I've been reviewing. Got some bunch of special things. So hit that like button also. See you guys on the next one.